Hey, good morning everyone, Trackman 44 here. Well, the parts and pieces of that 430 case is starting to pile up. Everything from the radiator to the generator to the oil. Oh, by the way, a bunch of acorns in the bottom of the dry oil sump on the air filter. But pretty much everything is stripped down, got everything off of it, and we're just about ready to pull the head. With a little bit of luck, the missus will show up in a minute because she told me she insisted that she wanted to see what it looks like when we start pulling the valve cover and of course knocking the head off of this thing. She wants to be able to see what's down inside it. And I give you a little bit of a hint. Last night she spent a couple of hours on the internet researching and figuring out how engines work. So I don't know what she's going to have up her sleeve, but I'm sure it's going to be something good. Well, I got the valve cover loosened up. We're going to go ahead and pop this thing off here. The missus just showed up, and it's kind of scary because she's got a piece of paper, and it looks like she might have me some questions.
I watched a video. I had to watch it 3 times because I kept falling asleep. But I took notes.
And you took notes on what?
On diesel engine. It was invented in 1893 by Rudolf Diesel. So it could have been a Rudolph instead of a Diesel. I guess it was 50-50 of what to call it.
Well, I guess that's true. Isn't that weird?
Okay, that cover you just took off?
That's the valve cover.
Okay, those floaty things are the
These
valves?
things here are the rocker arms.
Rocker arms, right.
Yeah, this is a rocker arm shaft.
Okay.
And these are the valve springs.
Okay.
Whenever the push rods push up the other side of the rocker arm, it'll depress the intake or the exhaust valve, whichever lobe is in tune with pushing to the top. And that's what allows the fuel in or allows the exhaust gases to leave.
Okay. If this is a 4-stroke and there's 4 of those little round things, pistons,
Yeah, there's 4 pistons. But,
then why are there 8 of those things?
well, because you have to have intake and exhaust for each of the cylinders. Fuel has to come into one, and it has to exhaust the one. It's got to come into another and exhaust another. So it's intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust, intake, exhaust.
Okay.
But 4-stroke doesn't mean 4-cylinder. 4-stroke is the 4 cycles that it goes through.
Right, okay.
Do you
You're
remember
right.
the 4
Yes.
cycles?
Yes, I've got it written down. Wait. It is, induction, compression, power stroke, and exhaust stroke. Right?
I guess that's probably technical terms, yeah.
Okay.
Intake,
so intake
compression.
is the induction,
Yeah,
and then compression is compression, and power is when it
combustion.
busts.
And then
And
exhaust.
then exhaust is when they
Yeah, I'm not
push on.
familiar with those terms.
And this is a 4-stroke, straight line, inline.
Yep. You're right about all that.
All right. And then, I was interested in what temperature. So the temperature has to exceed 400 degrees, and it reaches that at 234 psi,
So that's how much pressure got to be in the cylinder for it to explode the fuel?
a minimum.
Right. Diesel ignites on the heat of compression that's added to it. That's why diesels are always higher compression engines. Head bolts are going to be a lot tighter, and it has a lot more compression. That makes sense, though. I did not realize it was 234 degrees, though.
Yeah, well, it's a minimum.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. And diesels are more fuel efficient. And so a petrol or gasoline engine is only 25 to 30% fuel efficient, which
Yeah.
is really terrible.
Yep.
And even the most modern engine is only 40%. So 60% of our fuel is wasted.
Pretty much so.
But a diesel is more efficient and is up to 50% efficiency. But it's noisier and dirtier.
Definitely noisier, definitely dirtier.
And 50%? You know, like my wash machine, if it only got clothes like 50% of the clean? What if your surgeon came out and said, I'm only going to do 50% of this?
Fix half your heart, huh?
Right. The other part I'll leave till later. You can figure it out on your
That
own.
would be a problem.
Right.
I can see your point there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rocker arm off. If you see I was flaking the rust and stuff off while you were talking or bringing up those points. But I'm going to go ahead and pop these bolts out right here, and that'll allow the whole rocker arm to lift off. Then we have to pull the push rods out and then keep them in line so we put them back in the exact location that they came out because of the wear area on the both ends of the push rod where it rests inside the rocker arm and also down on the camshaft. If you get them all mixed up, you can accelerate the wear. But at any rate.
Oh, so you don't just throw them in a bucket?
No. I'm a shade tree mechanic. But
So
I'm
do you
not
have to
that.
clean those, or they just stay?
Oh yeah, it'll all get clean.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to pollute the environment by.
Are you going to use gasoline to clean them? Because I learned gasoline is a detergent and diesel is a lubricant.
Well, you're absolutely right about that. I may use gasoline, but probably not. I'll use some just regular cleaner, just regular parts cleaner.
See all the fun facts? I mean, they're not life changing, but they're kind of annoying.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You got that information for me. I didn't really realize all that stuff. Because, like I say, I ain't a mechanic and I don't play one on TV, you know. So, kind of in the shade tree realm.
I just want to see what it looks like inside. Okay, now it's right. Okay, so
Okay, now I've got the bolts out of the rocker arms, so we can pull the rocker arm assembly off.
oops.
Whoop! I didn't realize this particular one here was a multi-pieced one, so I have to take this off and make sure all the pieces remain in alignment so that they go back on in the exact same place. But if you notice, there's a heck of a lot of rust up here, and none of these rocker arms up here in the front, and that's number one cylinder, one look like it has rust in it. So these are definitely going to give a bit of an issue.
So can you fix them, or do you get new ones?
See how this is. No, we just
That
shine
one
it all
is-
up. We'll buff the rod if there's rust inside there. Any of the wear surfaces, we'll buff, and make sure everything's clean. Might even chuck it up in the lathe. Use a 600 grit and just kind of shine it all up and get the surface clear.
Right.
But see, this all lubricates. The oil pump will actually pump oil, and it'll travel through the inside. See that tiny hole right there? And this guy actually rests right there, so it gets its oil lubrication, through that tiny hole you see right there.
Yeah.
Which keeps it from wearing out, because this is nothing but metal to metal surface. These will pull right out here just like that. Look at the bottom of that push rod.
Yeah,
That's not good.
that's
Did you
gunky.
turn it back on?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not good. Let's look at number 2. Oh,
that's rusty. That's not
yeah,
good.
that's pretty bad too. So definitely water in the motor.
Ooh,
But look at here. This
No.
one's got a little bit, but
that's
not
rusty.
too much.
Look like rust to me.
A little bit here too, not too much. And see, look at here.
That one looks better.
Number 3 looks
Well,
good,
relatively speaking.
and 4 is good as well.
Now those
So
are the
1 and 2
push
is-
rods.
Yes, these are the push rods. Those rides on the camshaft, and the camshaft lobe pushes this up, which rolls the rocker arm or pushes the rocker arm up like a little
Rocking
seesaw.
horses. Seesaw.
And depresses the valve stem to allow fuel in, or the fuel to escape, or the burnt fuel to escape. Okay, now what I gotta do is I gotta go make a board. I've got to drill 8 holes in it so I can actually keep track of those push rods. So I'll be right back.
So that's right back. Like maybe, how long will that take you?
5 minutes.
Really? Serious? Okay, you've already got the board.
No. Well, yeah, I got plenty of boards. We have a sawmill. You saw me lumber.
All right. Go do your deal. I'll go make a cup of tea.
Nancy just has to have a board with 8 holes in it. I'm marking a case because I've got a couple of other engines apart. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you want, why don't you hold that for me? And I'm going to pull this number 1 out right here. We're going to go like this. We're just going to drop it right down inside there.
More zip ties. See how handy they are?
Yep. That's number 1.
And what was that one? Number 0?
No, that's the second one of number 1.
Oh.
This is the first one of number 2.
Oh, one has a little hole in it.
You want?
One has a little hole in the top.
Should be.
That one has a hole in the top.
Gonna get dirty.
I always get dirty with you around.
Okay, so those are out of there. We've got 19 head bolts to remove. I ended up having to take the fuel rail off anyway because I couldn't get these guys loose. I'm going to go ahead and pop these guys loose real quick.
So is this like a long-term project, like all winter, or?
Boy, I sure hope not. Now the problem is going to be getting the water pump to give way from the actual head right here. I've got the water pump bolts out. You can see that.
Which one is the water pump?
This will be the water pump here.
That whole thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. This is the whole housing. It's got the timing stuff in here, the drive gears, and everything to drive the injector pump, the camshaft, and the crankshaft. And then the belt will turn the water pump that's right here.
I thought water's bad on diesel. What does he use the water pump for?
Well, the water is that cools the engine, rejects the heat, pulls the heat out, and puts it through
Where
the
does
radiator.
the water circulate at?
you'll see as soon as we pull the heads off, because there's holes all throughout the head and the block, and it circulates the water all through the engine.
So is that where the rust came from? The water there?
Oh, no. The rust comes from Mother Nature.
Oh, now you're blaming it on a woman.
Yeah. Mother Nature forced water down the smoke pipe on this thing. Well, we'll tell whenever we get this thing off of here. But like I say, the next big problem is going to be knocking that loose. I left the intake manifold on, and we may still end up having to take that off. But there's really a tight bond right there between those two surfaces, and there's a gasket there. We're going to go back to business and see if we can crack this loose. I'm going to smack this a time or two with a mallet, and just to see if we can start the process.
Do you use a wooden mallet?
Yeah. Dead
Or
blow.
a rubber?
Dead blow, whatever. Sometimes you can just feel a little bit of a give, and you know it's already going. But not in this guy here. It's not going to be that.
Doesn't look like anything gave
Not going to be
there.
that forgiving. Well, we backed off of it, and got the head ready to come loose, and then that's where we're going to pick up with the next video. So you know what? This is TrackMan 44 in the Missus, and this is what the tractor started out looking like, and hopefully we'll get back to it one of these days. But you know what, guys? We are out of here.